Welcome to this new episode. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating philosophy and practical approach called Kobetsu Kaizen, which means focused improvement. It's rooted in the Toyota production system, but goes far beyond manufacturing. Chloe, what strikes you most about this concept right from the start?
Yeah, Liam, what really stands out is that Kobetsu Kaizen isn't about doing more stuff. It's about doing the right things, better and consistently. That idea of targeted, small improvements compounding over time feels so relevant, especially when people and organizations are drowning in complexity and competing priorities. It's a mindset that cuts through the noise.
Exactly. And the author Roy McFarlane brings a really compelling personal story to this. Starting as a dairy farm manager in Zimbabwe, then serving in the British Army, and later moving into manufacturing engineering and leadership. His journey is full of lessons on leadership under constraint, adaptability, and reflection, or Hansei as the Japanese call it.
Right, and that military experience, especially supporting special forces, taught him focus under pressure and how to lead without formal authority. That's where the Visor and Wayfinder frameworks come from. Real tools born from lived experience, not just theory.
Wearing a visor is such a practical framework. Visualize, itemize, simplify, ordinate, and resource. It's designed to bring order to complexity and lead teams, even when you don't have formal rank. What do you think makes visors so effective?
I think it's the way it creates credibility without a title, confidence without ego, and momentum without permission. For example, visualizing the problem with sketches or diagrams aligns everyone's understanding quickly. Then itemizing breaks the work into manageable parts with shared language. Simplifying removes friction, ordinating prioritizes actions, and resourcing aligns people and tools. It's leadership as a craft, built on mindset and discipline.
Yeah, and that story about designing a covert boat with no formal authority but clear visor steps really illustrates how it works in practice. It's not about hierarchy, it's about structure and clarity.
Absolutely. And then there's the Wayfinder compass, which adds a layer of understanding motivation and meaning. Knowing your why is important, but in volatile environments, it's not enough. The Wayfinder helps you map your motivation across 4 drivers: opportunity, status, interest, and enjoyment.
Right. And those drivers pair up in interesting ways, like opportunity and status driving ambition, or interest and enjoyment fueling passion and curiosity. The key is to balance these motivations to sustain effort, especially when things get tough.
And it's not just about yourself. Understanding what drives others helps you lead more effectively. That's where the concept of key influencers comes in. People who quietly shape team behavior and morale, regardless of their formal authority.
The 4 modes of persuasion, lion, monkey, ox, and bird, are a brilliant way to categorize these influencers. Each has a distinct role, from the lion's protection and courage to the monkey's social leverage and manipulation, the ox's reliability, and the bird's emotional connection.
And then the hybrids, Minotaur, Gorilla, Lamassu, and Griffin, combine these modes with amplified impact. Recognizing these personalities and working with them strategically can make or break leadership efforts.
That's a powerful insight. Leadership isn't about moving the crowd. It's about moving the few who move the crowd.
Exactly. And the case studies really bring all this to life. The Tamarind Paste Factory in Central America is a perfect example. In a post-conflict, narco-state-threatened region, a community-owned factory created an alternative economy, improving tens of thousands of lives and diverting thousands from cartel work.
What's remarkable is how the Kobetsu Kaizen tools, Wayfinder for motivation, Visor for clarity, Hansei for reflection, and key influencers for trust were all naturally embedded in that project, even before the frameworks had names.
And then the mask factory during the pandemic shows how these principles apply in a completely different context. Designing a factory fast, using existing logistics infrastructure, collaborating across cultures, and adapting to shifting regulations, all while maintaining focus, people over control, and learning over certainty.
The outcomes speak for themselves. Millions of masks produced, high efficacy, and jobs created. But beyond that, it's the leadership lessons. Focus replaces urgency, design replaces procurement, people replace control.
And underpinning all of this are the Toyota Production System's 14 principles, which the author translates into personal practice. Long-term thinking, visible workflows, balancing load, stopping to fix, standardizing routines, and relentless reflection.
The 1% rule really resonates here. Small, consistent improvements compounding into mastery over time.
So, Liam, what do you think is the biggest takeaway for leaders listening to this?
For me, it's that leadership starts when you take responsibility, not when you get a title. Influence matters more than rank. Creating clarity, structure, and trust enables leadership without authority. And that improvement is a discipline. Continuous clarity, not endless change.
I'd add that people are the ultimate resource. Investing in their capability, recognizing key influencers, and embracing imperfection through wabi-sabi builds resilience and confidence.
Well said. And starting small, picking one friction point, making it visible, fixing it, teaching others, and repeating is the practical path forward.
Absolutely. Using Visor and Wayfinder as tools to navigate complexity and building systems that survive constraint, not just perform in ideal conditions.
That wraps up a rich conversation on Kobetsu Kaizen. Thanks for exploring this with me.
Thanks, Liam. It's been insightful. Looking forward to seeing how listeners apply these ideas in their own work.
Until next time.